There are 5 families out there, kid, each controlling their own neighborhood. First, there's the Tattaglias from Brooklyn. Bruno Tattaglia is next in line to be Don, and is working with that Turk asshole Salazzo. Tattaglias are tough, but nothing you can't handle. As for Brooklyn, the Heights is pretty ritzy, but watch out near the waterfront. If I had a dime for every cheap hotel, brothel, or sleazy clip joint, I'd be a very wealthy man. Look into the face of a Strachey and you'll see one thing: trouble. You don't want to run into them on a dark night in their New Jersey stronghold. At first, the place looks pretty quiet, all little shops and fancy parks. But watch out. Better bring a crew with you before paying the Stracheys a visit. Hell's Kitchen is one of the city's toughest neighborhoods, controlled by the Cunios. They ain't rich. A few gambling clubs and brothels, plus some weapons. Hell's Kitchen is a sewer, full of burned-down tenements and empty warehouses. The rail yards are a rat's nest of scumbags and late-night wheeling and dealing. Midtown is the heart of New York. You got all those famous landmarks that you've seen in pictures, plus the biggest hotels, swankiest nightclubs, and the most valuable rackets in town. One family controls Midtown, the Barzinis. They're tough sons of bitches. Don Emilio Barzini is in charge and rules with an iron fist. And finally there's us, the Corleones. Little Italy used to be our turf, but the rival families kept moving in and hitting our businesses. We gotta stop them, kid. Take the families out one by one. But when you look up at that big sign, Genco Olive Oil, you know, on Mott Street, that's when you know you're home. You want to earn some protection money? First, you gotta find a business right for the taking. To extort the owner, you gotta convince him that it's in his interest to pay us, capiche? Each merchant folds under different kinds of pressure, and everyone has a weak spot. Some folks will listen to reason. Others, well, you're gonna have to, apply pressure. When targeting a merchant, you'll see his pressure show up under his health. Everyone has 2 lines, where they'll give in and where they'll fight back. The closer you can push a merchant to their breaking point without pushing them over, the more cash you'll take home. But be careful. A man can only take so much. Push them too far and they'll snap. Maybe even take you on. Persuasion is an art. You can threaten the poor schmo with your bare fists or a gun. You can smash up his shop, even beat up some unlucky customers. All sorts of ways. Me? I like the simple approach. Crack open the register with his own head. Sometimes, though, you won't even have to break a sweat. If a shopkeeper asks for a favor, you might be able to win him over by doing what he asks. Earn his loyalty, you'll be rewarded in kind. You want to own New York City? You want to be the king? You gotta control the rackets. They're all over town, usually in some crappy little shop with a dirty secret. These shops are called fronts, and they're hiding the illegal racket stuff that's being pushed on the streets. Break the shopkeeper, and maybe he'll let you poke around his business. If you're lucky, you'll find the racket boss. Try cracking some skulls and persuade him to show the Corleones some loyalty. But it's better to buy him out instead, if you can afford it. The more rackets you control, the more cash you'll make for the family. But to be a real earner, you have to find the warehouses supplying the fronts. These fortresses are a tough nut to crack, but if you take one over, you'll discover where all the liquor, weapons, and other racket merchandise actually arrives in New York. The hubs. Taking over a hub is the key to breaking the rival families' backs. There's another way to get your teeth into those rackets. Hijack their supply trucks first. Each neighborhood is full of trucks smuggling goods from warehouse to business and back. Stop the truck and take out the guards, then rough up the driver. Take his keys, stash the truck somewhere safe, and you'll score some fat loot. Finally, don't forget to check in on the local brothels and casinos. Those gamblers, pimps, and madams tend to stick together. But if you smooth talk the owner just right, you might find yourself sitting in the lap of luxury. Now be careful out there. If you're thinking of taking out a family, they won't take it lying down. Killing rival soldiers and hitting their businesses will cause their vendetta level to rise. The families already don't like Corleones on their turf, and a high vendetta level only makes things worse. They'll send out their capos, do drive-bys, and make our life a living hell. Earn too much vendetta, and you'll start a mob war. During a mob war, every Corleone is a target. They'll hunt us down and start torching our businesses. There's two ways to end the mob war. Bomb one of their joints or bribe an FBI agent. Feds can be bribed at any time to reduce vendetta levels, so you should plan on paying them a visit from time to time. If you get whacked during a mob war, it'll cool the families down for a while, but only because they'll have bombed more of our places while you're away getting treatment. Use Tom's report to check vendetta levels for each family before they become a problem. Know your enemies, I always say. It's the old story, kid. Make trouble, and the cops are gonna be all over you. The bigger the crime, the more heat that comes down on your head. Cops will be everywhere, and they won't be too friendly. That is, if they ain't already shooting. Manage your heat by bribing cops on the street, or cooling your heels at a safe house. Each neighborhood is run by a police captain. Bring some problems with this guy, and he'll make sure all his lackeys look the other way if you want to wave your gun around. Hell, they might even fight for you, as long as you don't push things too far. If you join the family, you'll get Tom's report. All our guys report back to Tom and tell him the heat levels in each neighborhood. Keep an eye on the heat, or you might get burned. The Corleones, we're family. When you join us, you'll be part of the family too. But you gotta start where all of us started when we first joined, at the bottom. As an enforcer, you might be asked to join the crew of a seasoned capo, or do a job alongside a respected soldier. Do good, and you might get promoted. And promotion has its privileges. Not only will you keep more of what you earn, but you can start hiring your own crew. The higher your rank, the better the crew member you can hire. Our guys can be found all over New York. Check your map, or just head home to the compound. Once you have a crew, you're ready for business. Try taking over some enemy businesses, rob a bank, or just go for a little Sunday drive. A crew member is great in battles, but sometimes you'll want him to take a hike if you've got private business. Just tell him to go home, and he'll split. Otherwise, your crew will stick with you through thick and thin, even if it means an unpleasant farewell.
Hand-to-hand fighting is an important part of being a made man. You'll earn more respect for taking down enemies with your fists, and it's a great way to get a gavone to talk. Sure, a couple of quick jabs will soften a guy up, but throwing a strong hook, overhead smash, or uppercut will really get your message across. And switch up your attacks, too. Left, right, left, right. Now, these combos are hard to stop, kid. And when you've got a bat or a lead pipe in your hands, you can't lose. And when you grab someone, there's even more you can do. You can still charge a punch by holding your fist back, but you can also drag and swing the poor Goomba around like a sack of potatoes. Maybe try pushing your guy up against a wall, or slam his head into a table. Let go while swinging someone, and he'll be thrown to the ground, or through a window. Hey, it's your call. When you have a gun out, try pistol whipping the guy, or show him the business end of a shotgun. Let him know you're serious, capiche? A headbutt, a stomp to the chest, these are all good things to learn, kid. But when you gotta be discreet, try strangling someone. Or better yet, try a quick neck snap. That gets your attention? And remember, you need to practice your moves and develop your skills. Level up your fighting ability, and you'll be a made man in no time.
Lake Park, scene dark, silvery moon is shining through the trees. Cast to me you, sound of kisses floating on the breeze. Act 1,